that was March 2002. I came back and was like, wow, God, that was really me not expecting or desiring, really, to join E3 staff. But the Lord made it clear to me that that was what He wanted me to do. And so December of that year, I left my job and ended up joining staff. And one of the things that I was a little bit nervous about was having to raise financial support for the ministry. And that might be something that you all are thinking, oh gosh, I don't know, how is the Lord going to provide? And it's just been my experience that if the Lord is really prompting you to go, that He provides the resources to make that happen. I've seen it happen in my own life, and I've seen it happen in the lives of so many team members who have gone with me and with us. It's exciting.
Good. Good. Do you have any questions for Stephanie?
Have you just been going to India or to other places?
Oh, great question. You know, I've been on staff for about 6 years and average taking about 5 teams a year. Probably about half of those trips have been to different places in India. So I just really love it there. I've been to China several times, a couple of places in Africa, and a couple of different countries in Latin America. So kind of here and there, but probably at least half of my trips have been to India.
And primarily, you do go into the remote villages.
Yeah, we go into the remote areas. I think, are we going to be working in a rural setting in Guntar?
Not as rural as a lot of ours. Yeah. It would be more like a suburb area and then a slum area.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, oftentimes we work in rural areas, and we've got translators, so each of you will have a translator. And, you know, during our training time, we talk about how to work with a translator and how to share the gospel in a way that is relevant so that the people who are listening will be able to understand. And it's fun. Scary at first, and then fun.
Yeah, it's amazing how the first day, when it's really time to share your faith, everybody is just really nervous. And by the second day, everybody's like, I'm like Billy Graham. You know, they're just, it's like I can, you know, it's just amazing how much as you experience the Holy Spirit's power and just get to share with people, and you see how God's already prepared people's hearts. So you're realizing, you know, something else has been happening. I'm just showing up. And there is, I think really that is the key, is just showing up. Many times we'll have our nationals tell us, you know, just your coming and walking with us serves a huge purpose. Because when you walk with us, doors open. And we can go in and do ministry places that we wouldn't be able to otherwise. So some of the places they'll say, like your skin. And it really doesn't matter what color skin as long as it's not the same as theirs. And you're a foreigner, and they'll just kind of say, yeah, because you're a foreigner, everybody wants to gather around and go, why would you come here? And they'll go, well, you came all the way from there to here, why? No tourists come here. I mean, there's no reason for you to be here. Why are you here? And when you open your mouth and you give your personal testimony, which we'll teach and help you walk through, and then you take out this little cube where you already have it out, and you then, and you're fiddling with it to draw curiosity, but when you get the box open here, maybe it's because I'm not opening the top. But as you share the gospel using the cube, those pictures get their curiosity and they begin to really pay attention to what you have to say. And it's just really exciting. Now, some trips, we have literally had thousands of people come to know the Lord. Other trips, you might have dozens come to know the Lord as a team. Some trips, I've had just personally, had over 100 people receive the Lord during the week. But there's been a few trips where we're in a very hard area, and maybe half the team members had nobody receive the Lord. But one of those areas that I went into in Ethiopia, that was a remote area, very similar to India in the sense of not knowing the gospel in all, a Muslim area, And, you know, I really wondered, okay, we've shared the gospel with maybe 2,000 people this week, and maybe 30 or 40 made a decision. That's not very many for our normal trips. Well, I found out a year later that 12 churches got planted, and that many of those people just needed more time to talk with their families, and the wives with their husbands, and that 12 churches got planted that next year in that region out of Muslims who put their faith in Jesus. So when you're out there and you share your testimony and then you start showing this cube, everybody's eyes light up and they want to hear what you have to say. And I think that's one thing culturally that's sometimes a little bit hard for us, is that here we're so used to people viewing religion and spiritual things as very private, not something you talk about. You can talk about sex openly, but religion, no. You know, it's kind of odd, isn't it? But you go to these other cultures, especially India, spirituality is a part of the fabric of life. They live and breathe in a spiritual realm. And so, you know, they'll be going on their way to work and they'll stop right there and bow down and worship the Hindu shrine that's there. As you know, the Muslims, to them, their laws and everything that they want to follow kind of is integrated in the fabric of their life. And so you have a very different situation in which most people are very open and interested to talk about spiritual things. And so it's kind of somewhat of a shock when you go to another culture and you go, they really want to listen. And it is encouraging to you. And so that's something that I just want you to kind of understand right off the bat, is that you will have an impact. And when you're with a translator, and you have your translator, if you stumble over your words and you have to repeat what you said, nobody can understand you. And so you just say, you know, I didn't say that very well. Let me say that again. And you know what? Your translator's cleaning it up. He's like an editor, or she's like an editor. So they're getting it all formed just right to communicate that message to the people that you're speaking to. So it's just a really beautiful experience in which you can have an impact in a way that's pretty hard to imagine when you're sitting here in the United States.